Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development. Two thousand 24, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating World Chess Day on every 20th July every year. Chess for Sustainable Development is the theme. About 70% of adult population, US, UK, Germany, Russia, India, has played chess at some point in their lives. 605 million adults play chess regularly. Mathematically, there are more possible games of chess than there are atoms in the observable universe. It is possible to checkmate an opponent in chess in 2 moves. The oldest living grandmaster is Yuri Everberg, who celebrated his 100th birthday in May 2022. As we know, chess has been invented in India. Since then, the world has been embracing this game. The United Nations recognizes that sports, the arts, and the physical activity have the power to change perceptions, prejudices, and behaviors, as well as to inspire people, break down racial and political barriers, combat discrimination, and diffuse conflict, and therefore contribute in promoting education, sustainable development, peace, cooperation, solidarity, social inclusion, and health at the local, regional, and international levels. Chess is one of the most ancient intellectual and cultural games with a combination of sport, scientific thinking, and elements of art. As an affordable and inclusive activity, it can be exercised anywhere, played by all, across the barriers of language, age, gender, physical ability, or social status. Chess is a global game which promotes fairness, inclusion, and mutual respect, and noting in this regard that it can contribute to an atmosphere of tolerance and understanding among people and nations. Chess is a global game which promotes fairness, inclusion, and mutual respect, and noting this in regard. That it can contribute to an atmosphere of tolerance and understanding among peoples and nations. Chess also offers important opportunities in the implementation of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and Sustainable Development Goals, including strengthening education, realizing gender equality, and the empowerment of women and girls, and fostering inclusion, tolerance, mutual understanding, and aspect. Chess is a two-player strategy board game where the aim is to move different types of playing piece, each with a prescribed set of possible moves around a checkered square board, trying to capture the opponent's king piece. Today, there are over 2,000 identifiable variants of this game. One theory is that an early game similar to chess called Chaturanga originated in the Indian subcontinent during the Gupta period, 319 to 543 CE, are spread along the Silk Roads west to Persia. While the modern chess is believed to have been derived from Chaturanga, means four divisions, referring either to the divisions of the playing pieces into infantry, cavalry, elephantry, and chariotry, pieces with the modern game became the pawn, knight, bishop, and rook, or to the fact that the game was played by four players, Chaturang, and later Shatranj was a name given to the name when it arrived to Sassanid Persia around 600 CE. The earliest reference to the game comes from a Persian manuscript of around 600 CE, which describes an ambassador from Indian subcontinent visiting King Khosrow and presenting him with a game as a gift. From there, it spread along the Silk to other regions, including the Arabian Peninsula and Byzantium. In 900 CE, Abbasid chess masters Al-Suli and Al-Lajlaj composed works on techniques and strategy of the game, and by 1000 CE, chess was popular across Europe and in Russia, where it was introduced from Eurasian steppe. The Alfonso manuscripts, also known as Libro de los Jugos, Book of Games, a medieval collection of texts in three different types of popular game from the 13th century CE, describes the game of chess as very similar to Persian Shatranj in rules and gameplay. On 12 December 2019, the General Assembly proclaimed 20 July as a World Chess Day to mark day of the establishment of the International Chess Federation, in short known as FIDE, in Paris in 1920. Under initiative of FIDE, July 20 has been observed as International Chess Day by chess players around the world since 1966. The designation of World Chess Day of the UN will not only recognize the important role of FIDE in supporting international cooperation for the chess activity and aiming to improve friendly harmony among all peoples of the world, but also to provide an important platform to foster dialogue, solidarity, culture, and peace. Today is also commemorated as International Moon Day. The General Assembly declared International Moon Day a United Nations designated international day to be observed annually on 20th July. In its resolution 76 by 76 on international cooperation in the peaceful uses of outer space in 2021. International Moon Day marks the anniversary of the first landing by humans on the moon as part of the Apollo 11 lunar mission. The celebrations will also consider the achievements of all states in the exploration of moon and raise public awareness of sustainable moon exploration and utilization. For thousands of years, human civilizations has looked up to the sky, pondering the origin and mysteries of the moon, our only natural satellite. Ground-based observations enabled by invention of the first telescopes opened a new chapter in our understanding of celestial companion. While the birth of space activities, the moon became the ultimate destination of countless missions, including crewed flights that brought the first human footprint to another place in the universe. As moon exploration efforts continue taking shape with ambitious So the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, UNOSA, works to promote international cooperation in the peaceful use and exploration of space and in the utilization of space science and technology for sustainable economic and social development. The office assists any United Nations member states to establish legal and regulatory frameworks to govern space activities and strengthen the capacity of developing countries to use space sciences, technology, and applications for development by helping an integrated space capabilities into national development programs. Today is also commemorated as National Moth Week in US. The last week in July is all about celebrating the fabulous moth, butterflies, less beautiful cousins, moths. Moths are nothing to scoff at. The National Moth Week is all about celebrating these delightful and helpful creatures. Did you know moths are the amongst most diverse organisms on Earth? It is true. Scientists estimate there are minimum 150,000 moth species, and some believe there could be over 5 lakh moths have been found that are small as a pinhead and as large as an adult human's hand. But of course, it is incredibly complicated wing colors and patterns that make them especially dazzling. Today is also commemorated as Colombia Independence Day. Colombian Independence Day is celebrated on July 20. When the date falls on a weekend, it is not moved to a weekday to rule the region independently from Spain's colonial era. The Junta de Santa Fe began in Santa Fe de Bogota, the viceroy capitals. The event sparked independence movements throughout Latin America, resulting in a decade-long rebellion that culminated in the establishment of Republic of Gran Colombia, including present-day Colombia mainland, Ecuador, Panama, Venezuela, parts of northern Peru, and northwestern Brazil. Gran Colombia disintegrated in 1831. However, it was among the most powerful countries in Western Hemisphere. It influenced the political development of new Latin states. Today is also commemorated as Asana Bucha Day in Thailand. Start lighting your candles. It's a Buddhist festival that falls on the full moon of the 8th lunar month every year and brings together families, communities, and adversaries, creating a sense of peace and cohabitation in the countries where it is observed. The Buddhist himself set the festival in motion following the legendary sermon in which he outlines the road ahead for Theravada Buddhists. Today is also commemorated as Isala Full Moon Poya in Sri Lanka, which is observed every year on the full moon in the 8th lunar month. This year it is held on July 20. This day commemorates the Buddha's first sermon and the arrival of tooth relic in Sri Lanka. Several legends are associated with Isala Full Moon Poya Day, like the conception of Siddhartha Gautama or Buddha by Queen Maya, the Great Renunciation, and Buddhist first sermon. According to Lankan myth, it was Isala Full Moon Poya Day when the Queen Maya dreamed she was being carried by four devas or spirits to Lake Anotata in Himalayas, where a white baby elephant circled her thrice and entered her womb from the right side of her abdomen. Queen Maya conveyed the good news to her husband, and soon Siddhartha Gautama was born. Today is also commemorated as Full Moon Day of Vasu in Myanmar. It is observed during the full moon of Vasu, the 4th month of Burmese calendar. It tends to fall in July or August as per the Gregorian calendar. This year it will be observed on July 20. Similar to other holidays celebrated in other countries, it marks the anniversary of the first sermon given by Lord Buddha in the Deer Park in Sarnath, India, over 2,500 years ago. This is also the first day of Buddhist Lent, which lasts for 3 months. During this period, Buddhists will abstain from consuming meat, alcohol, or smoking. They gather and offer flowers at pagodas and offers monks new robes. Today is also commemorated as International Snowdown Race Day in United Kingdom. International Snowdown Race is usually held on the third Saturday in July in Gwynedd, Wales, and this year it falls on July 20. It is a 10-mile endurance running competition starting from Llanberis to the peak of Snowdon. It's said to be one of the Europe's toughest endurance challenges. In 1985, Kenny Stewart set the men's race record at 1 hour, 2 minutes, 29 seconds, while in 1993, Carol Greenwood set the women course record at 1 hour, 12 minutes, 48 seconds. There is also commemorated as Lempira Day in Honduras. Lempira Day is on July 20, which is an Honduran festival named after Lenca indigenous leader who led the struggle against the Spanish conquistadors. In the 1530s, Chief Lempira gathered a 30,000 person army to fight the Spanish conquerors, but it proved unsuccessful. Despite the failure of Lempira revolt, the Lenca leader is a recognized Honduran national hero. Lempira is on the one Lempira note. The currency shares a name with one of the country's 18 departments. Lempira Day is, though not a public holiday, however, it's observed across Honduras, particularly in schools. Most Honduran schools are in session in July. Today is also commemorated as National Fortune Cookie Day in US. Enjoying a crunchy sweet delicacy, every year Americans commemorate the cookie that is staple of Chinese takeout. These crisp folded biscuits have a buttery flavor to them. When you open them, you'll discover a piece of paper with a message nestled inside. The phrase will range from profound wisdom to hard puzzles to basic common sense. Some fortunes incorporate quotations from well-known thinkers. Every year, about 3 billion fortune cookies are created and consumed by ecstatic admirers. It's time for everyone to enjoy this great occasion. Today is also commemorated as National Lollipop Day in US. Is a day that children of all ages can celebrate. We are looking at you, grandparents, relive some childhood memories. People in the Midwest call lollipop suckers, but they go by the other names as well, lolly or sticky pop. They come in many flavors, but mostly fruit flavors for licking or biting. Lollipops are made of flavored sucrose, water, and corn syrup that are hardened on a stick. Today is also commemorated as National Pennsylvania Day in US. Honors the second state to join the Union. It's a day to commemorate the significance of Pennsylvania in American history, as well as its distinctive landmarks and culture that still exists today. Pennsylvania is also known as Keystone State since it was once the temporary capital of the United States in Philadelphia. While the origin of the term has been lost, the meaning has not. Bridge builders understand that leaving one important keystone out of their construction would be a mistake that would result in collapse. Today is also commemorated as National Ugly Truck Contest Day in US, which is an annual celebration of to discover the wildest and ugliest trucks in the nation. The Quickie Day is popular among truckers and collectors who have old modified trucks that look like art pieces or like complete junk with wheels, a working engine. Every part of the truck is important to someone who loves trucks, and they would have already made wonderful memories with the truck. For most truckers, their truck, no matter how old or unkempt it appears, is their life and they treasure it above all else. Today is also commemorated as Space Exploration Day in US, also known as National Moon Day, International Moon Day, and Moon Day. President Ronald Reagan created this day to commemorate the first crewed mission to moon and moon landing, which took place on July 20, 1969. 80 years later, President John F. Kennedy set a goal for America to land on the moon before the end of the decade. The Apollo 11 mission succeeded. The day also seeks to inspire and encourage young people to pursue careers in space sciences and space exploration. So let's look to the heavens and remember the incredible space advances humanity has made thus far and dream of where we still go. Today is also commemorated as Toss Away the Could Haves and Should Haves Day in US, which is celebrated across the US on the third Saturday in July. This year it falls on July 20. This day was created by author and motivational speaker Martha J. Ross Rogers to encourage the people to let go of the past and live in the present. To celebrate, get a piece of paper and a pen, jot down your regrets, and then toss it out or burn it. Make a resolution not to live in the past, and your best years are ahead of you. So why not give up now? Today is also commemorated as Women's Union Establishment Day in Laos. People in Laos celebrate the Women Union Establishment Day annually on July 20. This is one of the most important official national holidays in the country and carries more significance nowadays in the context of growing international movement for equal rights for women. The story behind this day and why it's so widely celebrated in Laos is one of the long struggles that eventually granted women their rights and promoted more favorable policies for women. Until today, this day is a symbol of the plight of women and how this can be changed. Although Laos is not a wealthy country, it has managed to adopt some progressive policies early on in the 20th century. This highlights the significance of Women's Union Establishment Day, which has been celebrated in the country for at least several decades. This day also celebrates the founding of the Lao Women's Union, which is today one of the strongest institutions in the country, founded in July 20, 1955. So throughout the following decades, the Lao Women's Union played a key role in promoting the inclusion of women in business, politics, and other areas. Other than the initiatives aimed at raising awareness regarding the issue, the union helped pave the way for many public policies that are more favorable to women, from amending women's rights to equal rights with men to access to education and social welfare. The Laos Women's Union served as a main guardian of the rights and the status of women in the country. Today is also commemorated as Woody Wagon Day in US. Every year on the third Saturday of July 20 this year, Woody Wagon Day is celebrated to honor the great invention of the Woody wagon. The classic wagon was a great ride at the time it was invented and was also mass produced by numerous popular car makers. This car is still a legend because it was made of wood at a time when steel was being utilized in the World War II. Since the car is still intriguing to look at it, it remains one of the favorites of vintage car collectors. Finally, the last commemoration for the day. Today is also commemorated as World Jump Day. There is no dearth of scientifically sound or otherwise approaches to tackling global warming. Around them is World Jump Day that is celebrated on July 20 every year. The day aims to shift the orbit of Earth to extend daylight hours and to create a more standardized climate throughout the world. This day is observed as a way of taking a light-hearted but stern look at the very serious issue of global warming and climate change. Although it's impossible to change the orbit of the Earth, jumping is a lot of fun. Some scientists believe if 600 million people jump at the same moment, the Earth will move a bit from its orbit, which will increase the distance between Sun and Earth, thereby reducing the risks of global warming. It is based on the theory that changes in Earth mass will make a difference in the Earth's orbit. Needless to say, it is unproven that having millions of people jump at the same time would make a difference in the Earth's orbit. So, with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We request everyone to observe a minute of silence for promoting, meditating, and worshipping and offering prayers for the global peace, harmony to be prevailed across the universe. And after that, there is a feedback form that is being shared. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. Thank you everyone for observing silence. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow, the same time, with the same joining link at 6 p.m. with different commemorations. Take care. Good night.